Good day everybody, and I hope you're doing well. Got a really cool video for you which is all about some of the best champion options to take in Hades Rifts. So if you, I don't know what this hand movement stuff is, I don't know, I'm just trying to vibrant up the intros. So if you saw a community tab recently, some people read it, some people assume they read it and then made up what they basically read it the wrong way. I asked for Hades Rift information, people gave me event quest information. I asked for what, favorite champions, best champions you've been using in the side quest, the Hades Rift, and people said it's easy. You don't need any champion will do.
Well, duh.
Exactly, Marge Simpson. Well, duh. A lot of champions work for that quest, but what we want to find out is some fun options, some things that work well, some good practice kind of like preparation champions, and that's why we've got ourselves a little. We've got a little spreadsheet which we'll go over in a minute. Link is in the description. It is the big guide. If you don't know already, each and every month I do a massive side quest guide spreadsheet. We do the weekly objectives. We do solo event guide in it. We do some of the best champions to go in the side quest. We do totals when it comes to rewards. We do how the event breaks down and top tips. Go and check it out each and every month. It's a Google Drive, Google Sheet. So go and check it out. Link in the description. But as you can see, I have done 5 runs at the point of recording this video. I could do a 6th run if I wanted to, but I needed that 6th run to do a surveying. I need to preview for this. So I've done a few times through that, and what I wanted to do is bring you my favourite team, talk about my favourite team, and I might even put some footage over the top of recording this, and as well look at the spreadsheet, which is important as well. So one of the first things we're going to do is go to the preview. We're previewing it now. And if you are curious about some of the best options, best team, I don't know if this is my team. It could be my team. So to kind of explain something, my favourite team is Archangel, Wiccan, Human Torch, and Venompool, right? We'll go over why that's important in a minute. But I always have one final champion as a question mark, just to spice it up. Because yes, to those people, it is a very straightforward and easy quest. But this is also fun and also taking in different champions and having fun. But also having those go-to fun options. You could synergize an entire team around one particular champion. You could have a broad spectrum of coverage of different types of nodes because you don't know what path you're going to land on. And yes, people will go as easy because you get to change the champion at point way through. And I'm going to stop memeing on that because it just got a bit boring after a while when people were just responding to that. Probably people will put in the comment section of this video, it's very straightforward, it's easy, you don't need to worry about any champion you use. Okay guys, I get it. Don't you worry about it. But in any case, one of my favourite teams is, as I said, this here, leaving one particular champion that is going to be utilised just to spice up each time. Whether or not that's Hercules, and people going, you could do it with Hercules. Yes, of course you could do it. Everything could be done with Hercules. And that's, the most opportune thing. So one of the main things that comes about from doing this quest is counters. Some of the champions, if not most and all of the champions, will be Spider-Verse based champions. It is quite possible that you will face off against not 1, not 2, but maybe 3 Spider-Verse based champions. Whether or not it's a side of villainy, whether or not it's a side of evading. So preparation is largely key for this. Now I put Venompool on my team, but a lot of people would recommend Venom. Now I think Venompool is very underrated, especially because I saw not a lot of people wanting to use him in the build up to doing this particular side quest. But it's definitely as we learned. So I put together a little infographic, which, as I said, the link is in the description. It'll take you to the spreadsheet, and I separated it out into 3 sections. 3 sections basically being 1, evade suppression that a lot of players of the community seem to use. Boss counters or options based on what you could go up against, and notable to add dot damage and suppression, and I suppose fun at the same time. So yes, one of the most interesting things is that you're going to find champions that are going to be evading you. So how do you deal with evade based champions? Well, you suppress them. Whether or not as part of the kit, Venom is a very, very good option to take down Spider-Verse champions. Falcon is another very good option when you go into your lock on and you're able to suppress and also take on. It also expands out because then you've got things like, well, if it auto block from a champion, could be quite handy against the likes of Penny Parker if for whatever reason you land yourself on this path right here, which I believe is path B, if I'm being correct on that one. So yeah, path B that you could land on. It's also essential to think about bringing in miss counters. And again, this is where the likes of having Hercules, Human Torch, as well as a whole plethora of different champions that would be great against this. So don't underestimate the fact that you could land on this particular path here, which I want to say is path E or F, if I've got that right. A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, so it would be potentially F or one of the others. So that's something to kind of like note. It's very important to note that. So that's what you're largely kind of looking when it comes to preparation. But preparation, as we know, is key because you never know what you're going to land on. Evade suppression is important with Mole Man, Nick Fury, and She-Hulk. You know, with She-Hulk, parry heavy rotations, easy. Gets you to that slow debuff quickly and suppresses. Same thing with Spider-Gwen. Hit Monkey, I've been seeing a lot kind of mentioned, and that's fantastic as well. From boss counters perspective, and here's the thing, you face off against Mystics. Human Torch is one of the go-tos. Titania, because of the way the no buffs on the champion. Spider-Man 2099. And Spot, I want to say, with the pre-fight, if I'm being right on that one. That can be handy depending on kind of mystics you go up against. I've personally used Iceman against Morningstar, and that's fine because as soon as you go in, you're like, okay, well, I guess that's what I'm going to face off against. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. I've had times where I've been able to see like Hood on as the main boss. It's not showing up for some reason at the moment, which is kind of odd, but Quicksilver can be good. I've seen also people using either Immortal Hulk or Hulk. And Magneto can be effective against Morningstar if Morningstar is the champion. Or, actually, no, I think that's it. Because I faced off against Hood. I think just Hood, really. Hood is more regular thing. Somebody said that they faced off against Dormammu. So it's like, that kind of puts you in kind of their territory with Titania and Spider-Man 2099. And obviously Spot. But that should never take away from the effectiveness of some very, very decent champions. So one of my favourite champions to use at the moment, I mean part of the team, has got to be Archangel. Archangel literally destroys anything on the path. You've got Wiccan as well. Wiccan as well is a personal favourite of mine. I've been using that quite effectively. And there's others. You know, you've got go-tier god champions like go-to god. That's not right. That's not English. Go-to god tier champions. It's one of these things where, you know, trying to say it several times quickly. Gallon, very effective. Doctor Doom, very effective. I think very effective when we're talking about the top area. So on the top area, the top line, you've got the likes of Venom. You've got Spider-Man Symbiote, but again, that falls into like a Venomy evade suppress based territory. And as well, you've got yourself Null. So the main thing of the game is finding a broad coverage, and it's always very interesting as to like where people's like habits are with preparation, champions, you know, those kind of things. And that is it. Yes, you do get to change at here. You get a choice node. I think adding choice nodes are fantastic. I would love to see choice nodes in event quests. I really would. As in the main event quest, not the side quest. This is the side quest, by the way. I just think they're kind of like, they're good for the community, helpful, and also lessen the usage of things like revives for those that struggle with it. People will go, oh, I never struggle with these any kind of events or side quests. Good for you. Absolutely fantastic and good for you. But there will be players that are just coming into things like somebody just coming into Paragon at a very early stage, or Cavalier, or Thronebreaker, and they're like getting into some of these more difficult quests, and it can be very hard. They may have to use revives, they may have to use health potions in order to kind of top up their champion's effectiveness. So make sure to kind of like think about that, and I'm hopefully Kabam kind of like, you know, think about it as well to like help out, you know, players just kind of get up to these stages without it costing them quite so much. But look, having this little extra here means that if you were for whatever reason just going to set up a path or whatever setup, then you could switch something out. Like I could go in with no bleed immune and find myself going up against Morningstar and go, right, I'll get up to here, and it's like I get to change it. So it's great. So you get to change it. You may do like a really fun synergy team, perhaps. Yeah. That's really it. I've got nothing more to say on all that. I hope this helped out maybe somebody that might be struggling. Because look, there's a lot of people that are quite obviously experts of this and having no problem. I mean, look, I'm having no problem, but I'm not so arrogant to kind of like to project something. And also I'm having fun with it. And I always say, if you're having fun with something, share it. So yeah, it was fun as well to kind of, for those that helped out in the community tab, thank you very much for doing that and getting the assignment, getting the job that we were looking to do. And we create this fun little infographic. Hope it helps out for people. If it does, then it's fantastic. And yeah, I will see you in the next video whenever that will be. And make sure to check out some other content located on screen. Have a lovely Tuesday. Bye-bye for now.